Blade, aka also known as the Gooner game. This game has been out for over a year now, but it's been circulating again and again, getting so much hate and backlash, even though it has been hitting the charts like crazy. Why is that? Why is this labeled the Gooner game? And I played a little bit myself because it was in my Steam library, and because of Steam Share. And I think it has to do with its sense of realism. Now, if you guys are interested, stay tuned with this video and I'll explain. Now, what do I mean by realism? Obviously, I don't mean the story because the story is not realistic. What I mean is the realism with its characters. Because the character Eve is based off a real life character. The style is more a realistic style. I know with anime you can have a realistic look, but take a look at Persona. It has a realistic style, but it's still anime. And the reason I say realistic is because the design has a realistic design. However, the sexualization, like the jiggle physics, are in an anime design. And what I mean by that is think of stuff such as games that also take this approach that doesn't get the hate but is either laughed at or just, people turn the other way, don't get as much hate, and people are just either don't play it, right? And a perfect example of this is none other but Genshin, Zenless Zone Zero, Honkai, XYZ. Games that have a more anime aesthetic, like oversaturated features, instead of one that Stellar Blade has. Oh wait, hold up. She got jiggle physics? Dang, she got jiggle physics checked. No wonder why people love the game. As you can see, like in anime, they tend to over exaggerate and even put a lot of jiggle physics mechanics when it comes to anime titles and the females. However, we tend to either ignore it or be like, it's part of the fan service. It's just like, it's no big deal. It's overlooked at. It's like, oh, it is what it is. Some people find it annoying or they just won't play it. Other people be like, oh, it's part of the appeal. Or, they'll be like, oh, like, they'll just kind of just over hurdle. And then there's other people who will be like, they think it's not even enough, to be honest, and they might even make fan art of the character and enhance some of the features. Like some characters who have small chests, they'll increase the bust size of the character. Be like, oh, let's make an adult version of the character, or increase the chest of the character. Which, side note, I'm used to seeing them increase the chest. I was not used to seeing them doing thighs, and then I saw them do chest and thighs. So I guess thick thighs do indeed save lives. What the turd? Now let's also talk about another big elephant in the room, which is Love in Deep Space, which is called the female Gooner game because it caters to an otome audience, which is a older audience originally because of its poor marketing. And the reason I say that is because it was originally labeled as spicy content, and I will even show you a clip of the marketing that was produced.
This video is sponsored by the spiciest dating game I have ever come across, Love and Deep Space. Love and Deep Space is a 3D dating sim where you step into an interactive sci-fi world that offers a semi-realistic 3D experience with immersive first-person cutscenes and interactions. You embark on an exciting journey to explore unknown civilizations and protect humanity's hope as a deep space hunter in the futuristic city of Lincoln, all while romancing and getting steamy with these hotties. You can experience an intimate, in-bed interactive experience.
Now, yeah, that marketing does come off as like, hey, this is a smut, raunchy, 18 plus title. Now, if you look at the information now, the game is 13 plus, so it's supposed to be more innocent like. And as someone who has delved into it and learned more about the game to see what appeals to the female audience, it's the story of like what what the fantasy is, right? Why you want to be this girl, right? And it's much more than just like, oh, steamy and whatnot, right? Uh, People could interpret it in such a way, but that's not what it is now. Um, or at least that's not the main appeal of the game, right? Um, However, I feel like the whole quote unquote Gunner aspect was because of a whole period chapter, which I'm not gonna go into, right? So that's completely different thing. Now, why did I bring this up though? Because the fan service, that's the main thing, right? Because, seeing someone, you know, breathing hard, that's considered fan service. The shirtless 6-pack, 8-pack, that's fan service, at least for the male. The male attractive guy, right? The Eichmann, that's what it is, right? That's fan service. And I mean, there's plenty of people who are playing the game for free, and so they're there for the story, and they could customize the guy, which is, with Genshin and all the Hoyoverse games, that you could customize or buy or pull your characters and not necessarily spend the money. That's the appeal. However, the whole quote unquote Gunner label comes into play is for like the people who are willing to spend over 1,000 plus, 500 plus on the whole gotcha mechanic. And yeah, maybe the intention is not that they're spending money, but like they're really putting all this on fictional characters. Like, would you not be like, oh, you're down bad for spending all this money on characters, on fictional characters? And it's like, if someone did that for Genshin, you'd be like, why are you spending all this money? It's like, yes, you're being satisfied in a way, but you would still have that, like, why are you spending it on something you can't really do, like, use it, like, in real life? Like, yes, it's giving you satisfaction at the moment, but it's like, it's cosmetic. You can still play the game for free. Like, what is this doing for you, essentially, right? Like, that's the process behind it, right? And if you're gonna get upset for people who are paying $70 for Stellar Blade, right? It's like, for a quote unquote Gunner game, it's like you could say the same logic for people who are spending 500 plus for Love and Deep Space. Could you not say that? It doesn't even matter if that you don't have to spend money on Love and Deep Space. It's like, it's the concept behind it. Because online, I know there's people who just like the game for its story. They'll play for free. It doesn't matter. It's just like, cool, they pull it for free. I played the game to understand like the logic of why people like the game, to understand better writing and whatnot. However, if you ask someone in real life, they'll be like, oh, the raunchy title. The smut. It's like, it's not smut anymore technically, and it's like, I don't do it for that purpose. And then you also have people on TikTok or on Twitter who be doing like the NSW type of stuff, or the people who be like, oh, I make it so that it looks like this is actually happening, when that's not the case, right? You could put it in your own intention how you want the game to play, right? So like, if you put it in that way, you could have Stellar Blade be like, I just play for the gameplay, right? And then you have people who, like, let's say Stellar Blade. They'll make the case, it's just like, if, let's say, you was a guy playing Stellar Blade, it's like, you're automatically Gunner. However, if you're a girl, it's like, oh, okay, then you're just playing for the gameplay, right? They'll make exception base by base cases, right? It's just like I'm playing Stellar Blade because someone recommended to me to play, and I'm just like, okay. And they're like, people will be like, oh, okay, she's just playing Stellar Blade. However, if you're a dude, it's just like, oh, okay, you're just a degenerate. You guys understand what I'm saying? And that's the problem. So it's just like, obviously, there is some things with Stellar. Like, I do think fan service is unnecessary. But I do understand it in terms of a business mindset, why they would do it, and, like, why it works. I personally think it's necessary. Absolutely not. But did it work for them? It absolutely did. So, it's just like, to each their own. That's kind of like with anime. Another thing is, like, stereotypes. Some stereotypes work, some don't. But, like, some people say they will hate stereotypes, but at the same time, they won't play a game unless the stereotype is there. So, that's one thing I've learned while making games. It's just like, you wanna you want to kind of break off with the stereotype, but at the same time, it's what you do with the stereotype that kind of shapes your character. It's just like with your character, like you kind of have to use the stereotype as a basic for people to understand, oh, this is what you're going for, and like to kind of introduce them, kind of like with Danganronpa, right? Danganronpa is full of stereotypes, like all the characters, right? But it's how you form the character. Because I personally, the more I think about Danganronpa, the more I dislike it, at least like the last one. But like with the 100 Lines Defense, I kind of hate it because I'm like, dang, these characters stereotypes. And maybe if I played more of it, I would have gotten into it, but I couldn't because I'm like, dang, these are really just stereotypes, especially with the like brother sister pair. And but other people aren't in love with that game, right? Because the whole stereotypes worked with them. All this to say, if you don't like the game, don't buy it. Also, you don't have to even interact with it. From what I've played so far, I don't think Solar Blade is really that much of a masterpiece. I mean, the combat is a little hard for me and I'm directionless. That could just be my personal problem. The graphics look okay to me. The one thing is Eve's hair, like the top looks like, you know, silky, and then the bottom part looks kind of like so textury to me. I don't know. That's just me personally. But I think literally the problem is just too realistic. Literally, I think that's the problem, Loki. Like, I know a lot of games are realistic, but I think it's literally because the jiggle physics, honestly. Because I know, like, games Last of Us and all that stuff, they have a realistic approach. But, like, think about Until Dawn, right? Like, Sam had a robe, but that was stiff. Did you see jiggle physics on that? No. It was just like, it was just holding on. Like, that's all. And so, like, it's like that realistic approach, but still had like that anime aesthetic of like the jiggle physics. It's like rubbing people the wrong way. And I think that's literally all there is to it, man. So, like, if you guys think that's it, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And with that being said, those are my thoughts on it. So, I hope you guys have a great one. And if you want this to hit the algorithm, comment down below vote picks, because that's the first thing that hit my mind. Have a great one. Bye.